Greetings and welcome to a Friday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is August 14th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Got back from invigorated 2 days at not Medina, Merion, the other Emmy. Sorry, invigorating. It's a joke. I'm doing great.
You're invigorated. That's great.
There's big Rahm LIV news. Jordan Spieth is leading a PGA Tour event. One of the great events of the year is ongoing.
Sirens. Spieth watch. One round.
Is he back? Roller coaster. Spieth.
Jordan Spieth doing Jordan Spieth things.
Maybe golf doesn't start until August. Maybe the competitive golf season doesn't start until August. So a lot going on for a Friday show. We're going to have a Flashback Friday with KVV on the President's Cup. So very exciting. Where do you want to start? How are you feeling?
Hey, I want to know how was the USAM? I was jealous.
I mean, it was it kind of fills up the cup, so to speak. Not to get too sort of sentimental or cloying about it. It's just it's an awesome venue for that kind of event. And I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of the golf course or the routing or the layout. But I was out there this morning a few hours ago, and it's the round of 32. There's 16 matches, and you go out there in that sort of bowl, the paperclip routing or whatever we called it, and everywhere you look, there's matches happening, and you can walk everywhere, just about. Maybe to your own detriment. You might get doinked on the head. It's kind of a tort lawyer's dream out there, given the small acreage, and that there are no ropes and the routing, with not a ton of crisscrossing, but you know what I mean. It's an incredible,
it's snug
golf course on a small piece of land, and now you got yahoos. I mean, I say that with affection, kind of walking here, there, and everywhere. Noah Kent just doinked someone on 18 on Tuesday or Wednesday, and the ball rocketed 50 yards across two fairways. So yeah, it's kind of a PI lawyer's maybe fever dream out there, but it's fabulous for the golf watcher. And yeah, it was 8:30 this morning, and everywhere I looked, it's the best. It honestly, in person, I'm not suggesting it's going to get the biggest ratings. And I know you did the Walker Cup at Cyprus about a year ago. I'd say, it's not 1-to-1, but it's very similar. If you're on the site, it's just feels like the greatest golf experience you can have. It's, the highest amount of tension and the highest amount of stakes for this level of golf, amateur golf. It's, among the Super Bowls or the Super Bowl, and the most casual setting for all the rest of us, right? And it's just that weird dichotomy. And so that's what makes it so cool as a fan. You've got, even with the parents, and they're dying on the inside, but half of them are walking around, not half, but portion are walking around flip-flops and cocktails. And it's just, and you're kind of meandering the fairway with this great American cathedral, to use a favorite word of Mike Wan's. And you get to see the highest level of golf shots with some of the highest stakes at amateur golf. And it's an incredibly casual and accessible way to see it. And everyone I ran into was having the time of their life. They wanted and the weather was awesome too. That contributed. Every single person I talked to was isn't this the best? And so, yeah, that's
golf without ropes is just so much better than golf with ropes.
Yeah. It's out there, man, though. You're feels like you're walking a tightrope on a few of those. It's oh, wait, you're on 14 and then 7's coming over you, or you're between 5. I don't want to get too into the nitty gritty, but you're honestly got to keep your head on a swivel because it's such an amazing, and for a day like today, you could just watch 4 matches with taking 15 steps. It's the best.
Who'd you watch?
I watched a little bit of Boston College's own Christian Cavalier early on. Watched him. He was going, and talk about drama in terms of as a storytelling, side by side with Stu Hagestad. They were like, as he was going out 5, Stu was teeing off 2, kind of those parallel holes. And, you have the drama if you want to be a, storyteller of the mid-am spot for the Walker Cup that seems to be locked up by Stu, but there's an undercurrent of people pushing for Cavalier. So I watched him a little bit, watched William Jennings, obviously watched Miles Russell and Ryder Cohen on Wednesday evening. Tyler Watts, who many people, are saying on the ground, like, well, Russell's amazing, getting all the hype, but it might be like Watts might be the guy. He's 1 year ahead of him. Going to be a freshman at Tennessee. People love Tyler Watts, who every time I say his name, can't keep thinking of Paul Wall's line. Michael Watts, he made me hot, like in the Still Tippin' old rap song. But I watched a little bit of Tyler Watts. Sounds like he's kind of a dial tone, but might be the guy. The hipsters might like him more than Miles Russell.
I'm thinking about Brian Watts, the honorable Brian Watts, called a penalty on himself.
The honorable Brian. Yeah, that's right. From
at Harbortown.
Yes, and was runner up, I believe, at Birkdale. Runner up at the whatever. I don't know which one that was. 08 maybe. Runner up at Birkdale. It was.
You know what Brian Watts was? I believe he was a capital P problem on the Japan or the Asia tour.
Yes, I get it. Yep. So it's a good, the bracket's taking shape as we record this. They're in the round of 16 Thursday afternoon.
I'm a little bummed out. The Illini contingent has lost. Max Herendeen bowed out here in the round of 16.
It's not out. Is he done?
Yeah, he's done. Kid from Morocco, Texas Tech kid. Kind of cool story though. That kid, he played JUCO golf.
Went to Odessa. JUCO. Now he's at Texas Tech. Heard he's a hothead. I was getting intel on all these guys.
The fist pumping was a little much. I gotta say, it was agitating me a little bit.
As an Illinois supporter, Herendeen body bagged Big Bert from North Carolina. That was kind of a trenches battle in the trenches this morning.
They got down. They did the Oklahoma drill, and one guy got blown up. Only time North Carolina beats us is when they got a bunch of when they were cheating.
I thought Merion looked good though. It looked good. There's this question of are they going to go for it and just bully ball it around? Seems like they're doing it on some holes, but not others. 15, they're all kind of just shipping driver over the bunker into the rough. But laying back on the shorter ones like 7 and 8, just kind of hitting irons off those tees. So I think it's a mix. It's not just straight bomb and gouge. I think, a question I would pose to you is it maybe better is it better as a match play course than a stroke play course? Because the 2 stroke play days, like all these guys are trying to do is avoid like a 7 on a par 5 or an 8 or, going OB, that they're all just kind of playing to the rough or playing to these, just playing away from the OB. Whereas on a match, maybe you're more inclined with like a totally different strategy or game plan in on several holes versus just trying to be in that top 64 the first 2 days. Totally changes.
I think yeah, absolutely. I don't know of many old golf courses that are better as stroke play courses than match play courses in general. And I think one of the things is if match play was the pervasive and dominant way that people played in the sport, you'd see way less people worried about, the score to par that people are shooting and what we have to do to golf courses to protect par. And I think Merion would be a better golf course if all these tournaments, if the US Open, the tournament they want to host the most, was a match play tournament. The golf course would be better today than it is right now. It's a marvelous, marvelous golf course. But it's not one you can make critiques about every golf course. You can make critiques about Augusta National. Like You make critiques about the greatest restaurants in the world, and like Merion is absolutely presenting the golf course for major championships, and not, for maybe the best way it could be presented. I mean, take one look at the 11th fairway, and you'll understand what I'm talking about.
18 feels a little preposterous at times too. Yeah. Like just walking, like, wow, what is that fair? That's not a fairway. That's
why there's a plaque there.
Well, the plaque's, the plaque's back at even the B group. Maybe it's narrower. I don't know. It's very narrow, very narrow.
People unhappy about the plaque takes.
There were people on the ground that are like, that is so offensive. It's one of the great shots. It's like he made a par to make the playoff, not win the. I don't know. I had several other people saying, hold firm, stand firm.
Well, I think the whole accomplishment was him winning after a gruesome accident. That was the accomplishment. It wasn't the 1-iron. It wasn't the shot.
Right. Not diminishing the accomplishment, the performance.
Yes. We're not diminishing the performance, the accomplishment. We're just wondering if there's a better moment in time that should have been memorialized.
We're being sold this as one of the 2 to 3 greatest shots in the history of golf. No, that's what we're raging against. Not he's barely walking. I know that. An incredible accomplishment coming back from getting hit by a bus. Anyways, I can't believe we're going back down. What else do you want to talk about? What
who were the crowd favorites? Who had all the support? Who got people buzzing?
A lot of
other than Max Herendeen. I know everybody. That was the must-see matches until he exited here.
Miles Russell, a lot of Miles Russell. I mean, there was just Miles mania, and obviously he drew a very a notable opponent, right? The low am at the U.S. Open, and for sure Walker Cupper and Ryder Cohen. And that's another. I got a lot of questions about, like, do they do the tiebreaker? How they set up the bracket, right? It's like first one in the hole. Should it be more like reseeded? I know they got to get matches going, so to speak, because they're kind of rolling off as a playoff. Don't you think they should bracket it based on like, rank, as opposed to the bracket just crumbles in very odd and unweighted ways?
What do you mean? What are you complaining about?
I think the tiebreakers are always just going to, like, who got in the hole first. They should re-rack it.
Yeah, that's the way golf works.
Ranking. Then you end up with, I don't know, probably better product though. Better bracket. If you end up with the better quarters and better semis.
You know what? If I go out and I put mine in at 11:42 a.m. on the second day, I deserve to be the highest seeded, in the group of the 3 seed territory, whatever.
Seems very arbitrary.
It is very arbitrary. It's the way it works, though. That's the way it works. It's just, you know what?
God forbid I try to look for continuous improvement. I'm trying to improve things.
This is mowing like the discourse about, we should, like, when there's an upset that happens in sports, it's like, this is why we should reseed.
No, that's not what I'm getting at. You're doing the same thing. No,
you're doing
that's not what I'm getting at.
Same thing.
Widespread. This is not like a couple things. It's like the whole bracket is really, there's a lot of ties. There's a lot of ties.
PJ, come on in here. I think I have a theory here. What this is all about. I think I've gotten to the bottom of this.
Yes.
Peach, me and you were talking. Brendan, since the Michael Kim tweetgate, he's gotten more active on social media, right?
I have noticed this. He's getting some shots up. He's stoking the fire. I saw you. You're responding to people now?
I don't know about that.
You're getting in the replies?
I think some of the replies taught him some stuff about social media that he doesn't know. A lot of them were saying, you don't know anything about content if you're asking this question. So
I don't know. Yeah, just need to reply to people. I'll get to 4 million by Christmas. I'll have 4 million followers. That's what I've been told this week over and over and over again.
Yeah, some giveaways. That's the key. So if you just stoke the fire, you put out a question, open-ended, or you have some complaint that's up for debate, this is how you do it. I think the replies were good for you.
Can I get to hear? This is why he's saying this. He drove out to Philly and he was mad because what he wanted to do was film a video of Miles Russell to get the engagement, and Miles Russell wasn't there by the time he got there.
That's not true. I watched this whole match yesterday.
Yeah, but you could have had more. There's more on the bone. If it was reseated, he would still be there right now.
You want a piece?
That's what you're saying. That's what this complaint's all about. You're mad that Miles Russell and Ryder Cohen, met in the first round. And what I have to say to that is that Miles Russell should have played better. Then he could have lost to the guy at the 64 seed who beat the 1 seed.
It was a great. Well, I mean, come on, the 1 seed, that was easy. It was he's a local guy who went bananas in the stroke play. That was the easiest. But no, went 19 holes. We had to do bracket challenge. The USGA asked us to fill out a bracket. I was like, this is like my 5-year-old filling out March Madness. Well, I don't like just picking names. It's too unpredictable.
You know what?
But I picked the Japanese kid who was 64 right away. The local kid.
Did not make a comeback notably this year. I noticed because I did look for it. The FedEx Cup Perfect 30 game. I believe we eradicated from existence. I believe that was us. It is not back for this year, I believe. So maybe if you get a perfect bracket, the USGA will give you something. But if you get a perfect top 30, your $2,500 PGA Superstore gift card is no longer applicable.
Peach, as our gambling, do you think the perfect 30 or filling out the USAM bracket perfectly is a harder task?
I think the USAM,
64,
because it's got to be way harder. Yeah, it's just way more things.
32 picks, 16. Yes.
I don't think enough was made that 64 beat the number 1 seed because I'm old enough to remember the WGC match play when that would happen. Remember the Japanese guy? Was it Tanihara?
Beat who?
He beat the number 1 seed years ago. I can't remember who it was at Austin.
It happens. Lucas Bjerregaard beats Tiger or whatever it was. Rory, Lucas Bjerregaard memorialized as Joe Namath and all these things.
Didn't Kevin Sutherland do it too? Kevin Sutherland was another one
at like Dove Mountain. Yeah, that was an OG one.
Not enough chatter about the kid that beat the number 1 seed. Miles Russell could have been.
Well, that's because they took 5 hours to play. 5 hours to play a 2-ball match. That's why it was dark out. It was dark, and I don't know. I heard the local kid. He careered it in 36 holes.
How dare you take a run at him on the?
I'm not.
The best
I
week
didn't
of his
take
life.
A run.
Didn't
take a run.
He ran. The way you could have played that is that he ran into a buzzsaw.
If I went to do catnip, I would have done wicker basket content. That's what everybody's doing. Wicker basket.
You did tweet about the wicker baskets.
You want a little social video I could have done?
Let's hear it.
And at least one occasion a year, and sometimes multiple, balls get stuck in the baskets during regular play. Multiple occasions where they get stuck in how they enter and exit. That was the social video I could have done, PJ. I left those impressions on the table because I didn't want to be accused of being Michael Kim.
Hey, that's fine. I don't care.
That's the difference between you and Michael Kim.
What do you
Michael Kim and Rory?
What do you think happens when the ball's in the basket?
You get a drop.
Where?
Right next to the hole.
Edge of the hole. Yeah, edge of the hole.
What if his drops in?
What do you mean? Gets stuck in the basket and then it falls out?
If you drop it, the ball
wait
goes
10 seconds, count to 10 or something, and it falls in? I think it counts as a stroke, as a tap.
Oh, God. Could you imagine if you're playing the club championship and some guy just blades the crap out of one and it sticks into the basket? I'd be so pissed off.
That feels possible too.
So
one time I was playing a match. It was like a state mid-am match, and the wind was blowing pretty hard, so the flag was like flapping. And this guy bladed a chip shot, and it hit the flapping flag and dropped straight down to like this. And I was like, what the fuck?
I did get a story of a member, I believe, who hit in the basket, but not on that hole. Like he was trying to get back in play and like hit a rocket into the basket and it stuck. because he was way offline, and you just there. Obviously, you have to take it back and off the green and play back on your hole. That's a jamming. Stop in mid-flight.
I also heard you were yucking it up with a celebrity on site.
Who's that?
A big sports podcaster. You're yucking it up with.
Kelsey was there. I said hello to Kelsey. Jason's got a fellow Clevelanders podcasters from Cleveland convention. Yeah, I don't know. People seem like they might be over the Kelseys. I don't know if they are in Philadelphia, but I saw the USGA post a video, and he was not well received. It's not well received. There's a lot of gatekeeping going on. But the pro shop, there's lines out the wazoo for the pro shop. They're doing
the hardest job in golf this week.
What, man, in the pro shop at Merion
Pro Shop?
Yeah, I mean, there's a line, and it seems like the sales were brisk. Numbers hitting their marks early. I think like the weekly allotment was gone by Tuesday. It did sound. I think like when we talk about the future of the USAM, it was being labeled as like mini US Open, and the USGA was allotting some sort of mini US Open, not infrastructure, but administration to this one, right? They expected their largest crowds ever. I think they had 16,000 tickets are sold for the USAM. When you think about it, it's like $25-$40. I think it was $150 for like the week. And if you're like, ran into several guys that were just like, get on the train. They live, 20, 30, 50 minutes away. Like, I just got the weekly for $150. I'm going to get on the train and come when I can a few times, or come for $40. And so, I don't know what the potential is of this event, but when you go to a place like that, it seems that there is some significant. You don't want to lose the balance is not losing the kind of ethos of it, right? And turning it into a monetized circus. But how does it become this greater interest event with, similar attendance that kind of fills up the cup that we're talking about? Because I do think it do you feel like it's ascendant recently? Like interest is greater than it has been, or no?
I don't know if the numbers will bear it out, but to me, what it represents is like your super core golf audience. People that are really dyed in the wool golf fans are going to watch this event. They're going to attend the event if they live close by. And it gives you an idea of like, I don't think the PGA Tour necessarily does the best job of appealing to this subset of fans, but these events do. The Walker Cup, the USAM. I mean, if you go to the Western Am, this is the thing. You should go to the Western Am. If you're in Chicago, you should go to the Olympia Fields Invite. It's like similar. You walk down the fairway. I mean, it's that event's going to have a bunch of the best college players in this. Like, these are the better events to go watch than the PGA Tour events. Like, frankly, as a fan, because you get closer, you see more shots, and they play, like, frankly, better golf courses.
Yeah.
Now, like U.S. Open, Masters, the Open Championship, that's like different stratosphere. I mean, the PGA at Frisco is going to be the event of the year next year. I think these events are amazing. I have like earmarked on my calendar next year. Like, I'm going to go to the Western Am a lot of days because it's at the course that I grew up caddying.
Sure.
I was, today I'm watching the USAM coverage, and it's like, hey, they're going to Oak Hill next year. That would be like, I'm more interested in going to that than the FedEx Cup.
Oh, I couldn't recommend this highly enough. I mean, going to this as a fan, the Masters would be up there, would be ahead of it probably. But barely. It's just a unique. It was so good. The bracket, quite frankly, it looks like it might not be might get like a stinker of a 8 or.
I think this is why you could make a case that the Western Am's a better event
because it
72 holes. Yeah. the top 16, there's no flukes. So then you get the match play bracket. And I think the tour should like think about this when you think about like, how do you create, I mean, the playoffs, it could be kind of sick if you did the playoffs where it's 2 events and it's, you have a few buys, like maybe you give your top 4 players auto in or top 8, whatever. But it would be cool if it was 2 events, composite score, top 8 go. It's like these 8 we know are playing the best golf of anybody because they just did it over 144 holes.
That contention was made a couple times. Like Western Am's better to me this week in the last 2 days.
Should we just blow out the Western Am next year? Do live recap pods every day.
What has better venues, the USAM or Western Am?
USAM.
Okay, just want to make sure we're being intellectually honest here. I'm not biased about.
I'm not gonna gaslight people.
All right, I just wanted to confirm.
I don't gaslight people about anything.
We were willing to go. We'll get to the final on Monday. Maybe the golf course too. Some of you overly precious architecture pedants are saying, Merion is having to be too tricked up or it just needs to go back to it's not what it should be, and therefore we shouldn't even have events. Maybe we can debate that on Monday.
I have been consistent with this messaging since, I don't know. This is just, I walked off the course last fall and I said, I played a lot of U.S. Open courses. This one doesn't feel like one. And I think it's a wonderful golf course. Wonderful, wonderful golf course. I would love to play Merion regularly. I just do not think that it's got the teeth for the modern game. That's just my opinion.
Okay. Interesting. So what should they do?
I mean, the scoring was like 73.
Take it off the rota.
And I'm not like a huge scorer. I'm actually okay. I'm okay with scores being low. I'm okay with it. I'm not okay with like guys at a US Open hitting 11 wedges for approach shots.
I think that's fair.
That it's just a driver wedge fest. And the only way you could possibly like get it, so
lose another cathedral. We'd lose another one.
They should retire Pebble Beach and Merion. This is my opinion.
From the USGA, or should they put up like affordable?
Because the golf ball goes too far. If you want Merion, then have a golf ball that goes 40 yards shorter. It'd be like playing at a negative elevation. When we go to Cherry Hills, nobody. They played Cherry Hills 4 years ago, and nobody complained about the ball going 25, 30 yards further. Did you hear any player complain about it?
No.
So why can't the opposite be true, where they come to Merion and the ball goes 30 or 40 yards shorter?
Just for
Nobody's ever had a good counterpoint to that.
Man, God. Think about the pace of play for that.
What?
1 week for this ball flight? I don't know.
They wait on all these short par 4s.
Yeah.
They wait on every par 5.
The calculations that are going on. I mean, they
got to start stroking kids.
It was 2:30 to play the first.
For walking up from 60 yards away. I saw this at the Western Am.
I saw this a good amount.
It's disgusting. I feel like JT started this.
Oh, God.
He like walks up. It's like, you're 80 yards away. You can't walk to the green to look where the flag is.
There are a lot of guys doing that at 4, on the third shot, and you're got 40, 50 yards.
They should be pedal. There has to be like, you have to complete the shot within like a minute and a half. I'll even back off like the number, like your whatever I think the recommended is 40 seconds. But these kids cannot walk. Some of them walk 100 yards, which is 200 yards to go look at a flag. I noticed this at the Western. It's insanity.
Yeah, saw this a few times. I think in the stroke play it was 2:30. I know one player said 2:30 to play the first 6 holes each day. 2:30 to play 6 holes each day.
Well, part of that is that there's literally so on the front 9, there's 2 drivable par 5 or 2 reachable par 5s. So you hit your drive and you're waiting, no matter what. You have all the par 3s. You have the 2 par 3s where you're waiting because like you hit the shot and then you have to wait for them to putt and hit the chips, right? Like multiple shots within one shot. And then there's 2 drivable par 4s.
I mean, it's
where you wait.
It was right away. I mean, today I was there by 8. Like you're waiting on 2 right away. I mean, it's a par 5, but you're waiting on 2. You're waiting on 3. You're just parked on that tee box, waiting for the green to clear. Like, and it's just there's like 2 matches on the course already, and that's it. And everybody's
twosomes
waiting right away. Yeah, I don't want to be pace of play guy. It's interesting. I think closing. I mean, this place is. I don't know. Closing it off to not hold American championships anymore seems like a dramatic conclusion or dramatic taking things to the extreme. Even if it's not.
The Philly Country Club's just as hard.
Properly set up.
That shouldn't be the case.
Yeah. I don't know.
That the magic of Merion, the challenge of Merion is having to hit mid-irons into the greens that they have. When it's all wedges, it loses the substance of its challenge. That's my point.
This isn't a course problem.
It's a distance problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not, the course is wonderful. And the course is presented because the way it is, because they know that that they're dealing with the distance problem.
There has to be a few defenses here and there to the distance. Great few days. Great start to the USAM bracket. Maybe underwhelming. What else do we want to talk about?
What's underwhelming about the bracket?
I'm just saying that the networks, which, I guess they're only on for 15 minutes a day anyways, are going to be, they'll feel it's underwhelming. What?
It's on Peacock.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many good players. Logan Riley is a stud.
I love the best.
Jay Lang and Tyler Watts are Walker Cuppers.
You've got the 3. I think the best case. Yeah.
William Jennings is a stud. Coming back.
He's one down.
All these kids are studs.
To go. Yeah. So at the lunch table with William Jennings. He was great. I think they're all studs.
What were you doing eating lunch with a competitor? Were you just intermingling? How'd that?
I mean, this is. Someone asked U.S. Open or USAM, and it's like, I think USAM. But you can go where you want. It's great. You eat lunch with the players if you want.
So the USGA didn't have a separate path for players and media from a one-way street.
There were apparently some controversies about media going where they shouldn't have been, and bull rushing different security checkpoints, which I don't think happened. But
what was the media center like?
It was in the clubhouse. It was amazing. It was in some, I don't know. I'm sure there's some fancy name for it. There was paint on the wall at the end of the clubhouse. It was great. It was fabulous. And I just generally started walking around, and I definitely ended up in some places I wasn't supposed to be, but it was great. It was great access.
I think what I'd love, and this is impossible, it's never going to happen, is if they created a golf calendar where, like, legitimately there was just we selected one great tournament a week, and that was on. Like every tour, it's like, this is the tournament of the week, and we're gonna just do the full, like, we're gonna roll out everything we can for the tournament of the week.
That's good. I like it.
This week I would have picked Memphis.
I don't.
100 degrees, watching Scotty out there just sweating his ass off.
Michael Thorbjornsen leads with Jordan Spieth and about 4 others. seems like, in Memphis. We'll do a full recounting. I want to do a full Merion debrief for the recap on Monday.
I'll just add the much maligned kitty cat is among the 4 others.
Yeah, you're happy about that. Much. We laughed you off on that. Much. We laughed you off like my Bridgman pick. We did kind of pop you for that one. So there you go. We'll do a full Merion debrief. I have questions about you architecture pedants saying it should be, if it's not properly presented, therefore it shouldn't host USGA. You can't do both. Either get out, stop hosting, or restore it completely. We'll talk about that on Monday. Spieth is leading, tied for the lead. There's unfortunately 54 holes to play, but that's where we're at in Memphis. Anything else notable?
Unfortunately, we need Spieth to get in the top 50. He's the needle.
I don't disagree. It would be great to have. We need him to beat Jordan Smith. We need him to get in the top 50. Yeah, it'd be good for golf if he returned.
Jordan Smith's got to make a comeback here. He's down in more of this on the scoreboard and the FedEx Cup.
What happened to Bobby Mack going out in 43? Shot 82 at TPC Southland. It's the only guy Rory's beating right now, too. Rory back in Memphis, just loving it promptly. Shoots 74. Feel bad for that.
Did you see his finish? He was even through 15.
No, I didn't.
Finished bogey double.
Driving from Philly. Oh God! All right. Well, that's great. No cut.
The funniest thing is like, Rory says he hasn't hit any balls since the Open, and the one of the guys right next to him is Ryan Fox, who seemingly has just been drinking every day since the Open.
Wine out of the claret jug. That's good. Good call. Good point. Yeah, there's no cut. Probably one of those weeks maybe you wish when you finish like that. Well, I have 18 more. No.
At a certain extent, I don't think he wanted to be there. Could you just WD with heat stroke?
Like pull one of those Larry Davids, or like like go down in the rough. You just start falling over, fainting.
Like Jason Day when he had vertigo.
Oh, come on! Are you calling that?
I'm just saying that like that.
Yeah, I mean, what's a good?
I'm not making light of his vertigo. I'm just saying like that. I'm trying to give a visual.
Like Michael Block's wrist, fake wrist injury.
Oh, how's Blocky? Is Blocky out there? Have we seen a lot of Blocky, PJ?
Just show up and call me.
I was just looking. I do not believe he's withdrawn yet from the last time.
How's his socials? Has he been yucking it up there? This is the easiest way to figure it out.
Michael Block is in the final tee time with Keith Horn and Gordon Burns. So they're giving him as much time as possible to recover from this wrist injury.
Is he in that because of top 10?
Yes.
That was like 2 months ago.
That was like 6 weeks ago. Yes. Yes. That was not recent, I would say.
I have no other. Go ahead.
I did see that. I'm trying to find it. Blocky might have played in a celebrity poker tournament recently. Somebody said this to me on Instagram.
I don't want to talk about Michael Block.
I'm just throwing stuff as I get it.
All right. We'll check in on him on Monday. Anything else? Big news is Jon Rahm. Report from James Corrigan in the Times, I believe, suggesting LIV is resigned to the fact that Jon Rahm will not be back. This comes on the heels of a report by Gabby Herzig in The Athletic on Wednesday that the DP World Tour is kind of tightening the vice grip around LIV and not going to provide the release in the same magnanimous way that they did this year. Fines are back. Kind of you can't play both situation anymore, and you can't do sort of whatever LIV 2.0 is, whatever Frankenstein kind of hollowed out odd ship is left, and just keep it like it was this year. So they're really closing ranks as there was a sign of like LIV being kind of wounded here, right? Really since April, and the tours have really closed in on them like a pack of hyenas. They did the deal with the Asian Tour, the US Open, DP World Tour, now getting back to kind of flexing its muscle, puffing its chest out, saying, we're going back to, legislating this. And unsurprisingly, according to this report, Jon Rahm, LIV people think Rahm's gone. But not surprising to people with common sense and sort of an understanding of the way things have been moving. So,
I mean, it seems I can't remember what report it was. Is like players just have lost all trust in management. They feel like they're just being strung along, like, and it's like funny, like, they talk about the investor, the investor this, the investor that. I mean, all the things, all the complaints that they've, when they released this 10 event structure, like 10 events isn't enough for OWGR points. That was a huge complaint from the players about LIV before they got, the OWGR points, was like, we can't, we don't have pathways into the major championships, the things we care about. And it just, that I don't know why anybody would stay here, It seems Westy's coming back to the DP World Tour.
Seems like Sergio's probably coming back. It's like, I mean, totally unsubstantiated rumor. Unsubstantiated. Well, kind of. Like last week, apparently in New York, there was like, the meeting with Scott O'Neill and then a player-only meeting. And they went into their own player meeting. They're like, hey, do you believe, Scott, that this is going to happen? Hand up. And nobody put their hands up. Like, I mean, this is not, honestly, it's not to anyone's blame. It's just like to O'Neill's blame, to the players. Like, it's the reality of the situation they're in right now. They're deeply sort of wounded. And I don't know, like, I'm not saying anyone's a kind of being a charlatan about it. Maybe if you have their head in the sand, but it does seem like it's winding down. But who knows? Maybe the investor saves them. The boys are going to get to the bottom of it next week in Indy. I know that. The LIV Indy, the boys, PJ and Joseph.
We're going to do a Flashback Friday, but with the Sergio news, this is the thing that I immediately thought of. He's going back to the European Tour. Can we do a little Flashback Friday? I think this was from Potomac.
It was.
Can't wait to live this trip. Can't wait to get out of here, my friend.
Can't wait to get out of here.
Well, Garcia, as you heard, pleading his case that the clock for the commencement of the search should not have started until he made his way across the stream. Seemed like a fair point.
Couple more weeks.
Couple more weeks. Maybe a year until PGA Tour officials see Sergio Garcia again.
Back on DP. We know he's, full-time Texan at this point, so he obviously wants to get back on the PGA Tour as well.
Could be just a couple more weeks until PGA Tour officials see Sergio again. There's your first mini Flashback Friday.
I'm trying to think of and we won't be around, but the Flashback Fridays 15 years from now, 20 years from now, like what if you have a Fireballs hat or Fireballs shirt? Like what a moment in time.
Well, Brendan, I got great news for you. I have plans to ransack the merch tent in Indianapolis. So whatever you want, whatever Christmas gifts your children need, you let me know.
What a moment in time, this time capsule.
I mean, I might bring an empty bag to just fill with stuff to make
luggage.
Sure I have room.
You mean luggage? Extra luggage? There we go.
I wish I could get like a smash hat from when it looked like a fart.
The first iteration of Smash.
First iteration of Smash.
Find that.
I mean, what about the Niplicks? They got erased.
That was a 1 year, one and done deal. It didn't last very long. All right, that does it. There's no great takeaway about Rahm. This is when it's official, it'll be official. This is
what's going to happen with a lot of guys.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Bryson and like Scott Vincent, Anthony Kim.
God, Bryson, man, it's interesting. What's he going to be? Content creator. All right, let's get to Draddy Flashback Friday. It's brought to you by B Draddy, the official outfitter of the President's Cup. Both sides, international and American. You can procure some President's Cup uniform merch. They've got a Tommy polo. I would highly, highly recommend. I don't wear red polos very often, but this is a red and blue stripe that is class. It's cotton. That one, I just love the design. You can use SGS30 to check it out. They are the official provider of uniforms for the President's Cup and sponsor of this Flashback Friday. Should we bring in KVV, PJ, to get this P-Cup Flashback Friday? There he is, the man of the hour. How are we doing, Kevin?
Hello, boys. I'm doing lovely.
Do you have any Rahm thoughts? Stray Rahm thoughts? It's like what we expected.
Yeah, I'm actually writing a little about this for the newsletter tomorrow. So if you're listening to this in the morning, you hopefully will be able to read my thoughts.
Okay.
I think it's interesting that, when Rahm left the PGA Tour, there's a lot of belief and speculation. I think you guys would agree on this based on the conversations we've had, that he believed that he was sort of uniting the tours, that he was going to be the catalyst that brought everything together. And obviously that didn't work out. And as fate would have it, Rahm now has another decision where he can make that can have a big effect on the future of professional golf. I think Rahm decides not to go. It really is going to be like a pointless sort of league. Like Bryson will have turned LIV Golf into his own content creation farm. And so Rahm has a lot of power within him to just basically say, like, you know what? Like, this didn't work out. It was a mistake. I'm not signing up for this. And kind of have the opposite effect of what was originally intended, which is like kind of dealing the final death blow to LIV. Just so that it's sort of a little Shakespearean in that sense. I feel like the same guy who once could unite the kingdoms is going to be the one who tears them apart.
Yeah, or he actually ends it all. He is uniting it. It just took him a few more years, right?
That's right.
He's uniting him by killing the one from the inside, essentially. He's accomplishing what he set out to do. Just took a couple of years to get there, right?
And he's the White Knight riding back to the, Indian Open.
The Maiden Denmark Classic, whatever these things are.
Wasn't it Maiden Himmerland?
Well, they've mixed it up.
What's that event that's in the Montana and the Swiss Alps? I want to go cover Rahm with that one. Yeah,
the Omega something maybe Omega Man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's the other Montana. It's kind of like the other St. Andrews.
Yeah, Trans Montana. That would be a good one to cover. I feel like. All right, what's our flashback? What kind of you gave us the great one? Was that just last week where they made?
It was last week.
They made was it Boss of the Moss sit on the sideline? Lauren
That's
Roberts.
Right. Lauren Roberts sit out a hole, which I wish we had some evidence of. Even just photographic evidence of it. There's got to be somebody out there who's got a photo
for the President's Cup are kind of wanting. Yes.
I have heard the PGA of America has been listening to some of our complaints about like the lack of PGA championships uploaded here. So hopefully the PGA Tour can hear this as well and step up their game a little bit, their archive game a little bit. So we can do these flashbacks.
There's nothing out there.
I mean, if only they had a whole building dedicated to content.
You would think that this whole event had occurred on a green screen sometimes. Like if it's not for the good people at newspapers.com, I'm not sure that we could recount these things this way. There's a graveyard of broken links and broken dreams, guys, on the interwebs.
I mean, whatever. I don't want to get into it. That content building. It's designed to service like the True Green and Serve Pro 30-minute schlock. Like that's not. They're making stuff that's just sponsored. They need like nobody wants.
They make the drop. What are you talking about? Golf's biggest show, the drop.
That's your opinion, man. But I just there's other. The content is very specified.
They make that commercial where they round up all the merch from every event, and then all the people are riding bicycles down Jacksonville Beach, and they have like hats like from the John Deere and recognizing each other. That's what they do.
All right. Oh, I
mean, I don't understand how you are a professional sports league who hasn't uploaded like at least all your final rounds.
Yeah. You think that would be pretty easily searchable? Like baseball does it. Anyway.
Baseball, it's insane. It's actually insane. It's like one of the least efficient organizations it has to be in the world.
Well, they've twisted themselves in knots, Andy. The course record, the round records for a lot of this I was looking it up, are TPC Boston. Dustin Johnson shot 60. For this event this week in Memphis, they count Dustin Johnson 60 at TPC Boston as like the course, not the course, but the round record in the history of this event. And,
well, they want you to know that Charlie Sifford won the Genesis Open, back in the day.
I forgot to bring this up because I was just fresh out of the car from Philly and I'm gathering my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
This new event in Greensboro that they're just calling Go by Raymond James is a mockery.
I can't believe
it's serious. It's disgusting. Go? It's stupid. It's Raymond stupid.
Raymond James need to get back in the game after they took away those stadium rights for the Bucks. He wanted to be an internationally known figure.
Raymond James.
I'm not.
Their great product. Go.
You're calling it Go? It's the Greensboro Open. What are you calling it? Go. The Go Classic. The Go Challenge. The Go Invite.
What I don't get
by Raymond James isn't a golf tournament name, and it's stupid. And I don't understand how you have so many marketing people and 18 people for 2 jobs, and this is what we have. This just barf. Go by Raymond James. It's just an unserious that it doesn't elevate your league in any way. It does not. It's just whatever. It's just the name, but it's so stupid. Go.
What city do you think is going to get left out of the championship series? That's just like a monster market.
New York.
New York will just continue to be not a part of the PGA Tour.
DC.
I mean, DC is just it's been cast aside anyways.
Is DC a city or is it a town?
Oh, it's PJ's a nice honorable mention.
It's close, yeah.
I'll mention.
What do you think about our take on 2 cities, KVV?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's false. It's wrong. It's Chicago elitism. I feel like Chicago people are just trying to knock everyone down a peg to meet them at their level. So the idea that there's only 2 cities, that's insane. I don't think anyone who like rolled through Houston or San Antonio or Cleveland or LA would think that's not a city.
Town. It's made attraction to the Riverwalk.
Pretty massive city at this point.
I'll say
because there's a lot of places doesn't mean it's a city. These are just gatherings, or sometimes I like to PJ called Atlanta an airport. PJ's just hiding right now. He doesn't want KVB smoke.
No, I'm accepting all the smoke. I think Atlanta is a vehicle for an airport. I think San Francisco could trend that way. I mean, we were discussing earlier that we need to change the name of the San Francisco City Guide video on YouTube to San Francisco Town Guide. What if it was just SFO Airport Guide in the surrounding area?
I got another element to this game, though. What is the difference between a town and a village? Like, are you saying that I grew up in a village?
These PJs.
I mean, I grew up in a village, but I don't even think if we're going to do this demarcation, it's not even a village.
No, because the village would be a minor city, quote unquote. It's not a city.
That's
Like
interesting
what?
how you have to use
Cedar
the word
Rapids?
city to describe and define.
I feel like when they show
a minor township.
Des Moines? Would
Yeah.
Des Moines
Listen.
be a village?
I think Des
When
Moines
they-
would be a
when they
Des Moines
show the
could be.
weather map on the TV and the weather person is like talking about the trends and there's all the dots on there to represent cities all throughout the country. If you have a dot on there, you're a city.
That's decent.
No.
That's where I would go.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Billings,
No.
Montana, city.
Well, the problem is they got to put some on the grid there, and so like if you have two big
when
ones
you get
next
out,
to each
when
other,
you get out
kinda-
that
Fargo.
way,
City.
Uh,
Boise, city.
Boise was the next one. I was going to say, like, listen, I've never been to Boise. I'm pretty confident I'd call it a nice town.
Okay. There's 100,000 people in my town where I grew up. It's fine. It's a town, but it's not a village.
You just called it a town.
Well, you were just saying before that it had to be a village. Let's get to this flashback Friday. This is insane.
I'll say going to Philly twice this year for a pro event and
New York suburb.
it's kind of stupid the PGA Tour doesn't have an event there, golf event. They could benefit from having maybe not every when there's a major, but it
seems like Cobb's is going to get the event. Cobb's Creek.
They're talking about it. I was also told some preposterous figures that are still needed there in the many millions of dollars that they're looking for. Anyways, go. The next event needs to be stopped. Go.
Why do we have two
Stop.
events who asked for two events in North Carolina? I love North Carolina, but
Probably
who
North
asked?
Carolinians who are coughing up all that money. Probably somebody's coming up with $30 million.
I mean, it's booming. I think Raleigh's on track to become the third city in America, from what I understand. It's booming down there, Raleigh. But yeah, why? What do you mean? Who asked for two?
I mean, Raymond James is headquartered in Tampa, Florida. It feels to me they could have sponsored any event if they're sponsoring one in Greensboro.
I mean, what they lack in original good content, they make up for in sales. And they got Raymond in a room, and they said, "Raymond, let me show you Greensboro." And
everybody loves.
I thought you were going to say they got Raymond in a room, and they said, "Let's go,
let's go." There's apparently going to be a bunch of money put into Sedgefield too, huh? That's good.
It was probably let's go, and then they dropped the let's like in the social network when they're like, all right, let's just drop the let's just go for now on.
You can't roll that out. That's not a serious suggestion.
You know what I think? I think Kuchar should get a sponsor's exemption, even though there's no sponsor's exemptions. They should put a plaque up for Kuchar at Greensboro.
Go.
I think here's my prediction. They're just going to like rename sponsors exemptions to something else. And then they'll be like, oh, captain's choice
special
for tournaments. Yeah.
That's how they'll get around it. Spieth will be playing in the championship series.
100%. It's they're going against 100 years of golf history. They're not going to be able to overcome
selling them too.
Yeah.
Like,
it's true.
This is the State Farm selection, and it's whoever. Yeah, they'll sell them before we know it. All right, let's get to Flashback Friday.
Okay. I want to take you down to the incorporated community of Manassas, Virginia, to 2000. Yeah. In the year 2000, Robert Trent Jones Golf Club here for the 2000 iteration of the President's Cup. Guys, I don't know if you have much memory of this, but I had no memory of the fact that the captains for this U.S. and Internationals President's Cup were 69-year-old Ken Venturi and 71-year-old Peter Thompson. I love this. Like, I feel like maybe the President's Cup needs to go back to just the olds, kind of getting their flowers and the young kids rallying around them. I don't need this like young guys like grinding over lineups or whatever. I just want the olds. I mean, Arnie, famously in the very first President's Cup, he kind of got choked up during the ceremony. He was so proud of his boys. It was like your grandfather, telling you he's proud of you. So I would like to go back to that.
They should have gone to this year. Jack versus Gary.
Why not? Actually, I think Lee Trevino would be a great person to put on there. Lee's 86. He's very sharp. He's Gary versus Lee. That would be a good one too. I don't know if Jack could, kind of wheel
Gary's
Jack around.
The Cup captain would be so good.
Oh, it'd be great. It would be unbelievable. I would basically sell my soul to be embedded with the internationals.
Must see TV. I mean, honestly.
All right. So the U.S. is heavily favored, as you would expect in this competition, even though they had lost the previous iteration of it. This is 2000, remember, and they have this guy named Tiger Woods who won 9 times in 2000, hitting 3 of the 4 majors. The U.S. also features David Duval and Phil Mickelson and Hal Sutton and Davis Love, all in the current world top 10 on their squad. But the hottest player on the American side might as well have been 20-year-old Nota Begay, who was won 4 times in the qualifying period during this President's Cup. So the internationals, they know that they're the underdogs, and they pretty much plays out that way. The United States wins the first session 5-0. The internationals stage a little bit of a rally, but then the Americans win the next 3 sessions 4-1. And so we get to Tiger ends up being paired with Nota Begay, former Stanford teammate, still buds to this day, in every single session. And it's actually good because Tiger's not playing really well, but Nota is playing really well. So Tiger ends up splitting 2 of those matches. They go 2-2. And in every one of these matches, they end up facing against Vijay Singh. Just happens to be kind of luck of the draw. Ernie and Vijay pair up once. Vijay and Retief Goosen pair up twice. And the rest of Americans dominate, even though Tiger and Nota go 2-2. And so come Sunday singles, the Americans need just 1.5 points to retain the to get the President's Cup. And everybody knows this is a foregone conclusion. Who does Vijay? Because, in President's Cup, they set the pairings like with a little bit of a wink, right? There's not exactly just a blind draw here. It's like who we want to face off. Yeah. And so Tiger ends up drawing Vijay Singh in the final thing. Now, prior to this event, the caddies and the ball boys for the international squad had a bunch of hats made up for the international side with something embroidered on the back, which I'm sure you two remember well. Yeah. But the 2 words, Tiger Who. They thought it was a bit of a joke, sort of meant to be like, hey, we're the underdogs. We can overcome this or whatever. But Paul Tesori, Vijay's caddy, who was caddying in his 3rd event of his sort of time with Vijay, thought it might be funny to wear one of these hats for the Sunday singles match. So Tesori shows up on the driving range and Vijay sees the hat and he asks Vijay if it's okay. And Vijay laughs and says, I do not care. He thought it was funny. So Tiger doesn't notice this hat until the 4th hole of this match.
Oh, and I don't remember the specifics. Yeah. I mean, I remember the hat very clearly, but I don't. Okay. So he notices on the, all right.
So Tesori tells this story. I want to give credit here on the, to my old colleague, Michael Collins on the Caddy Network. And so we don't quite have Tiger's side, but I think we can deduce that Tiger sort of fully signs off on Tesori's version for reasons that I'll get to in a minute. On the 4th hole, Tiger hits it in the water. And Vijay's 1 up at this point. And Tiger's played pretty kind of blah all week. Nota's been carrying him, as I noted. And Tiger has like an 18-foot putt for bogey. And Singh has a 7-footer for birdie. And Vijay says, hey, pick it up. That's good. And he kind of looks sort of expecting Tiger to be like, yeah, yours is good too. But, Tiger stands there and he wants to see Vijay putt it. So Vijay coaxes the ball down the hole. And Tesori's remembrance of it, it sits like right on the lip. Like it's a kind of putt where a stout like breath of wind would blow it in. And Tiger just stares at him, death stare, refuses to concede the putt. And Vijay turns back to Paul and he says, I think he saw your hat and I don't think he likes it. So Vijay taps in the putt. And Tesori's kind of mortified. Vijay doesn't give a shit because he's Vijay. Yeah. And so Tesori takes the hat off. He's kind of like feeling bad about it. But Tiger is not forgiving of anything. He birdies 7 of the next 13 holes. So while this is going on, the Americans win the President's Cup, which, they were all going to do. And Nota actually scores the winning point, beating Retief Goosen, of all people. So Vijay goes over to Tiger in the 15th fairway to congratulate him on winning the President's Cup. And Tiger says to Tesori, we're not done. We are playing this out. Tiger's version of this story is even more intense. Tiger actually talked to reporters about this afterwards. And he said what he said to Vijay was, don't forget us. Don't forget me. I'm right here and I'm looking you right in the eye. I didn't want him to back off. I wanted him to give me everything he had. I wasn't going to lie down and he wasn't going to lie down. I wanted him and I know he wanted me. Intense stuff. for the President's Cup, which, to this point has been a bit of a sleepy affair.
Yes.
So Tiger wins 2-1. And he's also asked during this media interview if he said anything to VJ about the hat. And Tiger says, I didn't have to. 2-1. So Tiger refuses to talk to VJ for like a month at this point. And they keep getting paired together in tournaments going forward. VJ, he doesn't give a shit.
I mean, this probably would have been like tour champion, like is still to be determined in the fall, East Lake or wherever it was.
Correct.
Yeah.
So they get paired together at like the World of Golf Championships at Valderrama. And Tesori is kind of like a, anxious, like verbal processor, kind of like myself. And he's got to talk. And he just cannot handle Tiger, like giving him the cold shoulder. So he goes up to him and he says, hey man, like I meant no disrespect. I'm really sorry. Tiger, the sheen of anger finally kind of drops and Tiger says, hey, no problem. It did make me want to kick your ass. So no hard feelings. And they don't talk about it for like a long time, like 12 years. But Tesori eventually ends up on Webb Simpson's bag and Tiger's walking by him one day at like Doral. And Tesori just blurts out like, what's up, Tiger who? And Tiger, like without missing a beat, just goes, what's up, 2-1? And he just busts into this big, like shit-eating Tiger grin. And now, according to Tesori, Tiger loves this story so much. Nobody loves like a corny Tiger story more than Tiger. That he makes Tesori tell this at every team function that they are a part of, like Ryder Cup, President's Cup, whatever. Tiger be like, oh, Paul, tell the story. One final note here. At some point, Tesori actually got both VJ and Tiger to sign that hat, which makes it a pretty fun piece of golf history.
Oh, yeah, a piece of memorabilia.
And interestingly enough, Tesori was actually at the nexus of another President's Cup controversy. Do you guys remember this? What it was?
No, what was it? It's going to kill me when you tell me.
Tesori was caddying for Tom Kim 2 years ago when Tommy Kim claimed that 3 Americans cursed at him during their matches, and Kevin Kisner and Camilo Villegas almost got into a shouting match when Tom walked off the green when his dear good friend Scotty had a birdie putt, and the Americans were furious. So then Tommy Kim complained to the media afterward that this was going on and said that the Americans were cursing at him, and Tesori pulled him aside and said, hey, like what happened to you wasn't right. I heard what happened, but don't go crying to the media about this kind of stuff. You just made it into a bigger deal. Even if this was on film, like half the people are going to believe you, half the people are going to think you're soft. Probably would have been better just to leave this one alone. So Paul Tesori at the center of 2 Ryder Cup controversies, 24 years apart.
President's Cup.
President's Cup. I think I probably slipped into Ryder Cup a few times there. My apologies, but
love it. That Tiger who I didn't realize he didn't notice it until the 4th hole. I thought it was like this whole big to do and all that on like the tee on the first tee. So love that. Thank you, Kevin, for this Draddy Flashback Friday and the sort of wandering chat about cities, towns, villages, Jon Rahm, and everything else.
I'll head on back to my village.
All right. Everybody enjoy your weekends. Thank you for your continued support of the Friday Golf Shotgun Start, our work here. We'll be back on Monday to talk maybe about a Jordan Spieth win in Memphis, a great weekend at Merion, the USAM on television. Talk to you then.